It was a Sunday, a very chilly Sunday. The rain was pouring non-stop since Thursday, keeping most people at home on the December weekend in the outskirts of Eknex. On this day, something quite unusual happened in what looks like a typical remote office building, specifically in a bar located on the second floor. Cisnerov, a sophomore at Eknex Community College, was found dead in Nerd's Den Bar, where she worked as a bartender on weekends. Whoever committed the crime managed to do it unwitnessed. The police led a deep investigation about this. Papers were not wasted in the making of this video. Back to the story. 5 suspects were found: Caden Mishrekti, Bogolio Gibolio, Ashton Hipsik, Emmy Moot, and Don Matisi. Let's go through all the information and evidence collected. For a bit of context, nobody was in the building before Cisnerov. We know she was alive Thursday evening as she made a phone call to her friend at that time. Her friend said she sounded agitated, although she didn't say why. Cisneros' phone is now off the grid and cannot be found. The 5 suspects all work in the building and came in and out of it several times in the past few days. It is beyond any doubt that at least one of the 5 is a perpetrator. We do not know whether they visited the bar, but they all deny they have, although they all noted that they found it curious that the bar was closed, but attributed that to bad weather. None of them was certain as to when the last time they saw the bar open. The offices and houses of the 5 suspects were thoroughly searched. The investigation led to the discovery that Bogolio Gibolio, Don Matisi, and Emmy Moot were all in possession of a white powder, presumed to be an illegal substance, with the same physical characteristics as a powder found at the crime scene. A gun was found in Don Matisi's office. The gun had the characteristics of a recently fired gun. The suspect claims that he used his gun at a gun range that Saturday morning. Upon contacting the gun range, his story was confirmed as their logbook indeed shows that he was there at 10 a.m. Thursday morning. During the investigation, it was noted that Don Matisi had recent scratches on his face and his right arm, which he attributed to his girlfriend Emmy Moot. She corroborated his statement. The interrogation team stated that they felt that all 5 suspects knew Cisnerov, even though only Ashton and Bogolia admitted that they had talked to her on various occasions. Caden had a business relation with the bar owner as he supplied the bar with liquor and stated that he sometimes met with him at the bar during Cisnerov's shift, yet he never talked to her. The owner has been away all week. Ashton appeared confused as to why Cisnerov would be murdered and had only good things to say about his interaction with her. Bogolia, however, suggested that Cisnerov was a crooked bartender and that she must have done something grave to deserve this end. The investigators also noted that while Don and Emmy obviously knew each other well, Caden, Don, and Emmy did not know any of the other suspects and claimed that they never talked to them. Ashton mentioned that he also never talked to any of the other suspects except for Bogolia, with whom he had talked casually on a couple of occasions but barely knew her. Bogolia knew none of the suspects except for Ashton, whom she curiously seemed to know well. A broken glass bottle was found in the trash bin of the crime scene. It was revealed that it had Emmy Moot's fingerprints on it, as well as it being held upside down. It is believed to have been used in a fight. Cisnerov was found dead with a gunshot wound on her forehead. Maggots were collected from inside of it, and they revealed that she has been dead since Thursday. A glass shard was found in a fresh cut Emmy Moot had on her right hand. Although she claimed it came from a broken ashtray in her office, tests proved that the origin of the shard is a broken glass bottle. All the samples of the white powders previously mentioned were analyzed. Results showed that the one from the crime scene, Dawn's and Emmy's, are indeed drugs. However, Bogolia's was not. Saliva was collected from the rim of the broken glass bottle. Blood was also found on the Cisnerov's nails. DNA tests were run. The blood matched Dawn's. On the other hand, the saliva from the bottle turned out to be Ashton's. Later on, more evidence were brought into light. Blood was found on Bogolia's shirt. She said she didn't know its source, but it turned out to be not human blood. Caden was interrogated about the glove found in the trash bin behind the building. It had his fingerprints, as well as black powder that seemed to match black powder found on Cisneros' forehead wound. He said he didn't know how that happened, but then justified it by saying he used the glove to change black ink on a printing machine. All the black powders, including sample collected from Dawn's gun, were compared. The one on Caden's glove was the only match for the one on Cisneros' gunshot wound. Puzzling. Well, here is what actually happened on the day of the crime and how it was solved. Story time. Thursday afternoon, Cisnerov and Ashton were at the bar drinking. What you perhaps didn't know is that they're dating. Cisnerov felt like Ashton was acting weirder the more she got to know him. He was getting violent and kinda scary, but she didn't say anything about this. During their conversation, Ashton got upset over something small, overreacted, and left. Cisnerov began to freak out, so she called her friend all agitated. But before she could say anything, Dawn, who was working late at the building, came over. They were lovers and cheating on their partners. Dawn said he saw Ashton storm out and thought he should come over to see what happened. He offered her some drugs to help her calm down and ease the tension, as they would usually do. Then, Emmy came to the building as she was looking for Dawn and knew he was working late. Since the bar is in front of the office and the door had a window, she saw them together. She went in and screaming and threw the bottle at Cisnerov. She missed, so it shattered on the floor. She then goes to hit Dawn. Cisnerov tries to interfere and the drugs are spilled everywhere. Cisnerov tries to stop them from fighting but accidentally scratches Dawn during this. Emmy gets so pissed that she storms out and threatens them that she's going to tell Ashton. Dawn runs after her to try and stop her. Meanwhile, Cisnerov is left alone at the bar. After that, she realized she had to clean the drugs up. She started off by throwing out the shattered bottle, but before she got the chance to grab a vacuum cleaner for the drugs, Ashton showed up. He was not able to contain his anger any further, so he pulled out his gun and ended Cisnerov's life. Here's how the murder was solved. Cisnerov's phone was actually taken by Emmy after she caught them. That's how she contacted Ashton to let him know about the affair. After she heard about the murder, she got scared, so she turned the phone off and hid it in her car. A few weeks into the investigation, she couldn't keep the secret any longer, so she took the phone, handed it to the police, and admitted everything she knew happened. The phone had evidence of the affair and the record of Emmy contacting Ashton. Everything made sense. Ashton was brought for further interrogation. He finally confessed to the murder and came clean about what happened after it. As he was leaving the scene, he noticed that he was the only one in the building and saw Caden's office open with a glove on the desk. He thought, since all of the others could be suspected because of their complicated relationships, and since Caden was the only one who had nothing to do with this, he could pin it on him. He took the glove carefully, using his shirt to not leave fingerprints, touched the powder with the glove, then threw it behind the building, knowing that it will be found by the police and used as evidence against Caden. Bogolia knew about Cisnerov and Ashton's relationship, but didn't say anything as she was madly in love with him and wanted to protect him. She was kind of a stalker and was jealous of Cisnerov. Her hatred for her was obvious. Even though she didn't know about the murder, she didn't want him to be a main suspect. Bogolia was recorded to be in the building because she was hoping to find Ashton and invite over for dinner. This explains the blood on her shirt since she was preparing a meal involving meat. She didn't find Ashton there and left before the murder occurred. As for Caden, he was in the building. He was working late hours on Thursday and left merely a few hours before the murder happened.